Most homeless on benefits can't rent privately because of needing a guarantor. What is the answer?
Getting a guarantor, would you want to pay maybe £1,000? And then, you think, oh yeah, he'll not smash it up, he'll be all right. I don't think you would. Even friends and family don't want to do it for the relatives, And it's not just getting a guarantor, it's even when you've got bond and rent in advance, they still want things like that. Do you know what I mean? They want somebody there to pick up the bill, which, I don't blame the landlords, but what can you do,
It's like anything else. I know, because I've been so active here for so long, I know which landlords will either take people on benefit, and I know which B&Bs will take people who've been homeless, and I know the ones that won't, and they're private, and there's not a lot I can do about that. All you can do is work as closely as possible with the council to find as many as possible who will work with homeless people. There's a but here. It's a challenge. There are some homeless people who have specific issues, who are very challenging. Some are flipping impossible, and they will go into a B&B and they'll trash it. So I'm not saying that to be mean. I'm saying that in the real world, at the front line, where I live and where I work, where I want to make a difference for good, I understand how hard it can be. So when I find a landlord who is willing and prepared to take people who are homeless, I nurture them. And I do my best not to send him or her someone who's going to trash the joint. And a landlord, good lad, known him years. I mean, he's doing it for profit, but he came and he said, Stephen, I've had enough. I can't do it anymore. So I said, what the hell's the problem? I won't tell you his name. And he said, I've got about 30 properties, and I know him, I've got about 30 properties, and we specifically take people on benefit, direct payments, and I've had enough. The council's too slow, so I'm obviously going to have a word with the council to speed that up. But he also said, I've just had 3, I went in, the place was completely trash. I get weary when people just see one side as 100% right and the other side 100% wrong. They're not. It's not like that. You have good landlords, you have bad landlords. You have homeless people who you can try and help, and the homeless people are a bloody nightmare. And it's not about ignoring the ones who are a nightmare or ignoring the bad landlords. It's trying to convert the bad landlords into good landlords, and it's trying to support homeless people who might be very, very difficult for whatever reason, drug problems, alcohol problems, to try and understand that they're not helping themselves by behaving that way, and they sure as hell aren't helping the other people on the street. And that's real life. And I don't mind it, not because I want to give charity. I don't believe in charity. What I want to do is to give people in that situation the tools where slowly but surely they can climb their way out of the hole, so they can have the dignity and self-respect that I believe we're all entitled to.
Yeah, to me that is a bit silly, because if your parents are dead, then they can't be guarantor.
As I understand it, the system depends on the landlord. It's up to a landlord as to whether they ask for a guarantor. Most landlords do. Most letting agents will encourage landlords to, and will want there to be a guarantor. So, and that obviously leads for problems, as does a deposit. For the need to have a deposit. And I know that there are schemes where the credit union works to loan people a deposit, which they then build up so that at the end of a certain amount of time they've got the deposit, but they get it in the first place to move into the property. So obviously what I'd say is that having to have a guarantor is a real problem for many people, and similarly, there are problems with deposits, but landlords don't have to insist on a guarantor. They don't have to insist on a deposit, though many do.
When I've talked to homeless people, one of the things that they often raise is the problem of actually being able to rent somewhere, because most of the time they have to go to agents, and agents ask for either large deposits or guarantees, etc. So they've got to find a guarantor. Often they're not in a position to do that, which really sort of prevents them renting anywhere. It seems to me it wouldn't be a bad idea if the government or the local council had some sort of scheme where they could actually guarantee the amount, to the landlord or the agent. Because most of these people are on benefits, it would be able, if they didn't, if they did not meet the agreement, it would be possible to stop the money out of their benefits, which at least would give them some sort of insurance. I don't know. It just seems a shame because at the moment it seems to be a real block on people finding accommodation.